Welcome to A Season to Remember. Today we will tell the story about how the small school from Magnet Cove made a run to the state title game. Through the highs and the lows, through the ups and the downs, we will tell the stories, through players, through highlights. Our first guest is Senior Jace Beckwith. Welcome back to another interview. I'm here with Senior Jace Beckwith today. How are you doing, Jace?
Doing pretty well.
The first question I have is we're just going to talk about the great season that y'all had this year. If you could pick one word or a phrase to describe the season, what would it be?
Well, I'm gonna take you up on the phrase part of that, and I will say never give up, because we had highs and lows to our season. It wasn't a consistent high, but when we got in the lows, we didn't give up. When we're down 13 against Mariana Lee, we don't give up. We turn it back around and we go win the game.
What is one thing you have learned about yourself, about your team, like just in general during this season?
One thing I've learned is that there's absolutely a flow to basketball. You know, you can work on your fundamentals, you can work on the game as much as you want, but there's a certain flow whenever you get into a rhythm with your team where you just know where they're going to go, you know where the ball needs to be. That definitely impacts the game. It's as much mental as it is physical.
What was your favorite game or moment of the season that y'all had this year?
Definitely the comeback against Mariana. I mean, that was just so huge. We had so many people in the stands, and I would say none of them thought we could do it. You know, we come out there, Evin gets a bucket, Owen gets a bucket, I get a couple of buckets, and then we make them call a timeout because we cut the lead to 2 or something. We make them call a timeout, and we're going over to the bench, and Coach Stringer looks at me and he's like, "That's how you do it." And so that was a pretty special moment to me.
Yeah. And the last question I have is, could you give us just a little season recap on how things went this season?
Sure. So we started this season last season. Last season we had pretty much the same team, but we had Levi, and he was this super strong leader who always was an example to us. And we lose him at the end of the season, and so we go into these summer camps, and we're trying to see who's going to be the big dog, who's going to step up. And it turns out that we all step up. And so we're beating these big teams at these big camps. You know, we took down Fayetteville this summer. And then we go into the part of the season without the football team, you know, where you got 7 or 8 guys, and that's the time to get better. You're going to lose a lot of games. You'll get to beat Ouachita, but that's about it. And then we got the football players, and I remember one of our first games was against Caddo Hills, and we dropped that game. And Caddo Hills isn't a pushover team, but they're a team that we needed to beat, a team that we should have beat, and we dropped that game, and that really marred our record, and that's why we ended up with the 3rd seed. But I think our momentum really shifted in the season at the Bauxite tournament. You know, we go and win that, and we get some confidence. We're like, hey guys, we can win. We can beat Wynn, we can beat Stuttgart, we can beat these big schools. We can do it. So our momentum shifted, our confidence shifted, but we didn't do so well in the tournaments. Came out of our district, lost to Dirks in the finals, but if you're going back and forth to Horatio every day, that's 5 hours of driving every afternoon. And then we go into regions, and we win the game that we need to win against, who did we play? Fordyce. We win the game we needed to win, and that was that. We came out of our region in 3rd. And then we go to the state tournament, and that's where we put our foot on the gas and we started winning some games. So you know, our first game, I would say, was our hardest against Maumelle Charter. You know, that was a team that they wanted it more than us. I will say that they wanted it more than us. We were just the better team. And then we go and we play. Who do we have next?
Yeah, Eureka Springs.
Eureka Springs. It was like looking in a mirror. You know, they got a couple of real good, strong guards and a huge post. But we make it work because that's what we play against in practice every single day. I don't let any of the other posts have a day off. You know, I always give them my best shot. So, you know, we're getting that same experience that we got against Eureka Springs every day in practice. So that's a game where we came in, we were confident, and they were scared. We put them down. Against Mariana Lee, their coach comes out in a full suit. They got all these drills that are run to the dot and T. They look like the Army out there. And then we go out there and we play. We get in that flow in the second half. We come back and we beat them. Then Lavaca, that's just a tough game. That's a game that we could have and that we should have won. But it's teams like that are going to really struggle next year with the shot clock. And it's teams like that where, they rely on the rules to save them rather than basketball. And that's tough to play against.
Yeah.
I don't want to diss them because they won. They had a winning strategy. But it wasn't a fun game of basketball to play.
No. All right, well, thank you for your time and thank you for this interview.
No problem.
The next player to tell his story is a freshman who helped the team to the state title game. His name is Batchelor. Welcome back to another interview. Today I have freshman Batchelor. How you doing today, Bo?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. If you could describe the amazing season y'all had in one word or phrase, what could it be?
It was a roller coaster. We had ups and downs throughout the whole season. We made some big runs and lost some games we should have won.
Yeah. The second question I have is, what is one thing you learned about yourself as an individual throughout the season?
I learned that not everybody has to be the star player on the team. I was a role player throughout the whole season and just tried to stay in my role.
What was your favorite game/moment during the season?
My favorite moment was whenever Evin Ashcraft, we were playing Maumelle Charter. We were winning by 3 points. There was like 0.5 seconds left. One of their players got off a shot, missed the three, but I fouled him. So he made all 3 free throws to tie up the game, and Evin turned around and hit a buzzer beater with 0.5 seconds left to win the game.
That's crazy. The last question I have is, how does it feel to just be a freshman in high school, a 9th grader, and start on the senior high team and make a run to the state title?
It was awesome. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do any of that without any of the guys that surrounded me, really. And I mean, it was a great season.
All right, well, thanks for your time, and good luck to you next season.
All right.
The last player to tell his story is the senior who hit the game-winning shot to send the Magnet Cove Panthers to the second round of the state tournament. His name is Evin Ashcraft. Welcome back to another interview here on A Season to Remember. Today I have with me senior Evin Ashcraft. How you doing today, Evin?
I'm doing good. How are you?
If you could describe the fantastic season y'all had in one word or phrase, what would it be?
I think I would have to say one more. We always needed one more play, one more game, one more thing to do to win, and I think that was a phrase that was said a lot as well as shown, and we always needed one more.
What was your favorite game/moment over the season?
I would have to say my favorite moment would be the state championship game. It was feeling like I've never felt before. It was something that I'd worked for my entire life, and we ended up getting there. It was an amazing feeling.
How did it feel to make that state title game and just not even just make in general your senior season, your last season here as a Panther?
Well, like I said, it's always been a goal of mine since I was a little kid. I used to go up there and watch those games, spend the whole weekend up there, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, watch all classifications, always watch. So it's always been a goal of mine to make it there, and we finally did it.
Yeah. You had the massive game winner against Maumelle Charter to send y'all into the second round of the state tournament. What was going through your head and your thought process, and how did it feel after that shot?
My thought process was really just score the ball, just make a shot, don't let the game go into overtime, because I felt like they would have had momentum if we would have gone into overtime. The feeling after was unlike any other. It just felt like I was on top of the world.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for your time, and thanks for your time here as a Panther.
Thank you.
The last interview we have is the man with the plan, the head man, Coach Matt Williamson. Welcome to the last and final interview here on A Season to Remember. And I have the head man, Coach Will. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing great.
As a coach, what was your biggest challenge taking this team to the state title game?
Man, probably I wouldn't say biggest. I mean, there were several challenges. First one was just getting us to play together. I've talked about in every interview. I mean, I told you, this was a deep team. We had so many good players. We were fast, we were strong, we could play tall, we could play small. We could just play so many different ways. So just getting them to completely buy in, to each other. And, early, Caden Baker talked about this, early we argued a lot, and I say we, them, and I'd finally stop them, and we just had to work on getting along, and understanding what the big goal was. And I just think that was the thing that, we had to overcome, is just getting along, understanding our role. And, I mean, the rest is history, like you said. I mean, a season to remember.
Yeah. How did it feel for you to be the coach to take them to the first state title game in school history?
That's a great question. I've thought about this one several times. It's unremarkable of what went on. I mean, this is just something you dream about as a kid, as a player, as a coach. Like we talked about with the preseason, number 4, the expectations were pretty high. So for us to just get there, we did something that, didn't think that we could do, and then just to go on to the state finals, like I said, just have we had one bad, quarter really, but, it was unbelievable. I really I don't know. I'm still in awe about it. It's crazy. I'm just excited for the guys. I'm excited for the community. I hope basketball is looked at differently now in Magnet Cove.
What was your favorite coaching moment of the season?
You said moment? I'm going to say moments. There were so many moments. The regional game, playing Fordyce, that game we lose it. We don't even go to the state tournament. It was such a physical game. There were so many huge plays made in that game. Like Evin lobbing it to Owen, like Jace talked about in his interview. I mean, that stuff, like, people are going to remember. I mean, that's pretty cool. Starting out in every state tournament game, we were down in the second half. We talked about that. It's, for us to roar back. And, a lot of times that's what I told my team. I think they wanted me to yell at them. They wanted me to get on to them. It's just like it just fired us up. So, those are all the moments that I remember. Each player is going to have a different moment that they remember. But like I said, it's not moment, it's moments. There were so many moments. There's so many huge plays. You can't just put it on one. It was so many of them.
What is one thing you have learned about yourself and as a coach during this season?
I guess for me, I talked about building culture, believing in what I was trying to teach. Sometimes as a coach, or even as a player, sometimes you don't believe in yourself. I'm not a negative person, but, Coach Stringer and Coach Williams and Coach McIntyre, they can, a lot of times I'm not complaining, but I'm being negative at times, and they do a good job of encouraging me, and then they'll be negative at times, and I'll encourage them. So I think we did a really good job as a staff of staying, motivated and continue to get better as, just as a coach as well. We got better as a team all year. I want to get better as a coach. So that was, probably the biggest thing for me, just staying encouraged, staying motivated, and like I talked about in our last interview, having energy. I got to have energy as well. If I don't have energy, the kids aren't going to have energy. So I just thought we did a good job of feeding off each other, and it showed. We went to state finals this year. Didn't get it done, but we did something remarkable. So,
all right, well, thanks for your time, Coach, and good luck next year.
Appreciate it.
As the credits roll, I want to say congratulations just one more time to the Magnet Cove High School boys basketball team. For those seniors, it couldn't have been done without you. The leadership, the big plays, and everything else. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. And until next basketball season, I'm Dalton Reid, and I'm signing off.